Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and it's just me today. Don't worry, Neon is fine. We just have one of those texts that are coming out to do something, and it's one of those, hey, we'll be here between this time and this time, and you never know when they're going to show up. So he had to stay there to handle that and sent me down here to do videos for you. So you're getting me for this video. Neon will be here later. So what we're going to talk about today is, it just got announced that yet another writer in the Star Wars franchise has exited. It's like, you know, a day that ends in Y. It was another Tuesday. It just keeps happening. And for some reason, Kathleen Kennedy is still there. Even though her contract expires this year, there has been no word on renewal. So hopefully they give her the boot at the end of this year, because as we said from the beginning, they'll probably just not extend her contract and let her leave on her own terms. And she'll put out some statement about how she's off to do other things, because they do this all the time. They do this a lot of times, or they always spin it that it was their choice kind of situation, so they can leave with their head held high. We told you guys this would probably happen. And that's likely what's going to happen, because hope to God if they give her another extension, I don't know what to tell you. She's got material on somebody somewhere, because it doesn't make any sense. But they got rid of another writer. They're not saying why the writer's gone, but they got rid of another writer. So everybody's like, when is this new, Rey movie? I refuse to call her Rey Skywalker. When is this new Rey movie coming out? Because, Daisy Ridley's out there like, oh, I'm so excited to do this movie. I'm going to be doing this, and there's going to be a new Rey trilogy and all this other crap. When is it coming out? Well, the answer is, who the fuck knows? Because they keep, pushing it back. Getting different writers. We already had the Mandalorian Grogu taking the first slot. There's apparently, 2 more Star Wars films coming in, December 2026 and December 2027. We don't know what's going in there. But there's a bunch of films in development, in air quotes, that have been there for a long time and never seem to go anywhere except for the Mandalorian. But now we have another writer is gone. So before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo, woohoo. And we're going to talk about this. So apparently, Steven Knight, he was brought in March 2023 after they got rid of the original writers, which was Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson. They got gone. And it was funny because Damon Lindelof says he was asked to leave Star Wars. Like, it's not, they try to make it out like, oh, he had other obligations. And he said no. He said he was asked to leave. He said, I was in more than talks to join Star Wars universe. I joined the Star Wars universe and then was asked to leave. Because apparently, I think Kathleen Kennedy, I know she was trying to do it with Kevin Feige, were like, oh, we were just in talks. We didn't actually hire them, even though they already announced that they did. And she had said that he was. They were trying to spin it that he was just in talks. He was never brought on. No, he was brought on. They said so before. And then he said he was basically told to leave Star Wars. And during the strikes, he was basically like, I'd rather be picketing than writing Star Wars, because it was, basically painful over there. And we have a revolving door of people who keep getting gone. And then I think the product we get is reflective of people getting gone for creative differences because Kathy Kennedy wants it to go a certain way. Well, Kathy Kennedy's way isn't working. Star Wars is in decline. And they keep trying to make it this brand for women and minorities and stuff. And I'm not saying it can't be. It's always been for everyone. There's this narrative that goes around. I hear it all the time. Someone tried to give me this shit the other day too. Women were kept out of Star Wars too recently. Like hell they were. We were not kept out of Star Wars. I've been a Star Wars fan my entire life. I've been alive, throughout the Star Wars franchise. Read the books, went to the re-releases, everything. Never had a guy tell me that I couldn't be there. Never had a guy quiz me. If you're being quizzed, it's probably because you're giving fake geek girl energy, where you're out there just trying to glom on, and they're probably like, or they might even said to you, so like, do you like this ship over this ship? Do you like this character or this character? And it's just like conversation starter. Oh my God, you're quizzing me. And it could have been as simple as, oh, I like this character. What do you think? What's your favorite character? Or do you like this one, or do you think this ship or this ship? And, and then they took it as, I'm being quizzed. And of course I can't speak to every woman's or minority's experience involving Star Wars. But from my experience, and I grew up in an area that, if you're going to get, harassed by dudes for liking it, it would have been in this area. Nobody. In fact, I thought it was cool. And that's one of the reasons that Neon liked me when he first met me, was because I knew more about Star Wars at the time than he did. It's not true, but they have this narrative that keeps going on. So we have them trying to push for this shift, but it's not working, because when it comes to Star Wars, even over Marvel, it has a predominantly male demographic. That is not a sexist comment to make. That is just fact-based evidentiary, support. It's what it is. It just tends to skew male. It always has. That does not mean that women don't like it. That does not mean that minorities don't like it. It just means that it skews male, and that would include minorities in the male part. If you are a dude or identify as a dude, that would count you. It's a male-dominated franchise. Always has been. So when they try to put these out, it doesn't do well. Marvel is crossed over. You look at this chart here. This is the line. Female, male. Marvel's Agent Carter crossed over into the female audience. There's another one here. Loki crossed over into the female audience. There's a couple of movies that crossed over, came very close. They're the blue and the green, right? The red and the yellow are Star Wars-based properties. The closest we got over here is The Mandalorian. That's the closest we got. Still skewed male. Oh, and then New Hope, maybe. But look, again, New Hope and The Mandalorian are about the same. It still skews male. Again, it does not mean women don't like it. It just means that most of the audience is dudes. So when you're constantly going out and trying to change everything and try and change the narrative, undo Luke Skywalker for Rey. Now Rey's the chosen one. We had Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we had the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which is another instance where someone got fired off the show. I have that person here. That person was Stuart Beatty. He was doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And then he got kicked off of it for creative differences. And apparently, allegedly, his show was going to involve Obi-Wan and Cody and one last storyline together, was what they were going to do. And then they put this Joby Harold in charge, and then it becomes the Little Leia show. And I'm sorry, there's no reason for it to be the Little Leia show, and I'm sure that was not their choice. I'm sure that was the direction that Kathleen Kennedy wanted to take it in her Forces Female bullshit. It's not. I'm sorry. It's for everyone. Star Wars has always been for everyone, but it does skew male. They decided to make the Little Leia show, which made no sense whatsoever in regard to Obi-Wan, because he's on Tatooine protecting Luke. And according to the lore, he never met Leia. It's like, you served with my father in the Clone Wars. I need your help. He didn't say, oh, let's pretend like we don't know each other if we meet in the future. That doesn't make sense. Why would she even send a message like, I don't know you? She would be like, okay, I know you said let's not pretend like we know each other, but I need your help now. It's stupid. And I'm tired of it. And then if you point this out, you're a toxic man baby bigot. No, I'm not. I'm a woman who thinks you're full of shit. So now we have yet another person off of the Rey movie who got gone. So that's 3 writers, all male, kicked off the Rey movie. They're going to look for new writers for this. Why bother? Nobody wants it. I mean, the Star Wars, you can track back the entire division of Star Wars and the decline of Star Wars to The Last Jedi. It completely broke at The Last Jedi. And the more you try to push these narratives and things, the worse it gets. The Acolyte. Not liked. I mean, you have your diehard fan base, which aren't a lot. When you talk about the vocal minority, you say it's people who don't like the show. No, it's actually people who did like the show. And it's fine if you like the show. You're allowed to like the show. That's completely cool. If you do, I have no problem with you liking it. I'm glad that you found something you liked. It's all good. The problem isn't that you like it. The problem is that anybody who doesn't like it is, disingenuous, and their arguments aren't real, and their critiques aren't real, and they're all a bunch of bigots. That's the problem. You liking it isn't the problem. The behavior around that, which we're going to do a whole other video on that here in a bit, is the issue. And they keep trying to make this happen. It doesn't work because the audience skews male. And short of getting rid of your entire audience, which you're already doing, hot damn, it's not going to change. And even if you get rid of your entire audience that's male, I don't think there's enough women who give enough shit about it that they're going to come and support you in the way you need it. And every time you put out these subpar properties and you're trying very hard to change the focus to something else, to own the chuds, you are hurting yourself. It is in decline. There's been article after article about how Star Wars is a brand in trouble, a dead brand, etc., etc. It's losing money. Star Wars and Marvel are 2 of their cornerstones that they need at Disney to do well, and you're destroying them. I'm sure Disney Plus and all the shows did not help, and you're constant, like, let's keep cranking out shit. But you put all this money behind the Acolyte, and people are like, even people who like the show are like, yeah, but the budget's that high. Where did the money go? It's just not working. So here we are with the Rey movie that no one wanted because they're going to double down and make Rey the Chosen One even more. Now she's going to rebuild the Jedi, where the books had Luke rebuilding the Jedi, but we can't have that because, you know, he's got a penis. That means that he's a yucky man. We can't have that because, don't you know, women who love Star Wars, who somehow are, you know, now the majority but never existed prior, don't like that he's in charge, even though women had no problem with Luke for years. They didn't. A lot of women, myself included, were pissed how you treated Luke. You know, it is what it is. And the books have done it for years where they added female characters that were good characters. The games have done it for years where they added female characters that were good characters. The prequels did it where they added female characters that were good characters. And they did it in a way that they were good characters and they didn't, you know, replace the men. They didn't need to belittle the men to make themselves bigger. That happened in the Last Jedi with Poe and Finn. We had Holdo and Tico show up, and their sole purpose was to basically show how shitty the people they were because they were male. They had no business being there, but they just showed up for that purpose. And it was stupid. And as a woman watching it, I was like, that's their whole point of being there. It's really stupid. And I was actually mad that they did it. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I liked Finn and Poe, like some of my favorite characters. Like, why are you doing this? And I know why they're doing it. And that's where we started with this division. And now it hasn't become what works and what doesn't work. It's like basically, you know, if you don't like it, you're a bigot. And all you've done, which is going to be a part of this other video I'm doing later, is just alienate people further. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact the audience skews male, and you keep losing writers. You keep, you know, announcing projects that you cancel. You keep announcing writers that suddenly get gone over and over and over again. The common denominator is Kathy Kennedy. You know? It just is. Why was the Disney trilogy all over the fucking place? There was no point A to point B. There was no beginning, middle, and end. It was just like nothing was planned. It was just like, I don't know what the fuck you were doing. You're just throwing shit all over the place and being like, this person wants to do this person wants to do that. And there was clearly no guidance. And who's that? Who's responsible for that? Kathleen Kennedy. But who they never punished for it? Kathleen Kennedy. And then she had the Forces female shirts. And every time you hear someone gets gone, creative differences, Kathy just doesn't think it's working. Well, I would argue that Kathy hasn't worked at all. But anyway, so once again, Rey movie, no one knows when. We're back at you know, ground zero all over again. So what do you think? Comment and let us know, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfishminus.com. That's clownfishminus.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfishminus.com. Thank you so much for the support.